What's good, y'all? It's that sports dude, Chris Dunlap.
Houzmazoo, Houzmazoo Network.
Yo, man, appreciate y'all tuning in to the premiere episode of the highlights. Yo, wherever y'all tuning in from, whether you're watching on my man network, Houzmazoo, you watching on TSDN, we just want to let you guys know that we appreciate y'all tuning in.
Much appreciation.
So, Zoe, man, let's tell these people, get these people kind of an in-depth look into our minds, our broadcast and production minds, and why we started this show.
I feel as though we started this show. We both have a good following, and we kind of like the inside scoop of the sports going on in the city.
Absolutely.
Some other people wanting to work with us, do projects with us, but some things just ain't manifest. So we just talk to each other like, you know what? We got leverage, so let's just do our own thing.
Right.
And you know? And
what better way, and who better to be able to really spotlight not just athletics in DC, but the whole DC as a whole. And as you guys can see, we call it highlights for a reason, because we're not just highlighting sports, we're not just highlighting athletics. We're gonna highlight, as y'all can see, we right here in the heart of downtown DC. We're gonna highlight DC as a whole. So what two better people than Houzmazoo and that sports dude to bring y'all DC in the highlights? You know what I'm saying? I know y'all can agree with that. And if y'all like that, go ahead, smash that like button for us real quick. So Zoe, tell the people, man, give people a little in-depth look at what they're gonna see in this first episode.
In the first episode, we're gonna talk about, Byron Leftwich and him winning the Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We also gonna talk about how COVID and this pandemic have affected student athletes here in the Washington, D.C. area. And we also will get an in-depth look, some exclusive footage on January 6th, 2021 of what happened in this building right here. The Capitol, the riots, the insurrection, however y'all call it. We're gonna go in depth and get, the footage from my camera, and we're gonna show y'all.
And I'm telling you, my man got some really good footage. I know some of you guys have tuned in, especially if you're watching on the Houzmazoo Network. You've seen his coverage, but that's just, man, that nowhere near tells the whole story. So I can't wait for you guys to see exactly what he experienced while he was down there. So man, you mentioned Byron Leftwich. First off, shout out to you, Byron, DC's own, HD Woodson's own. Becomes the first person to win not only a Turkey Bowl as a player, not only a Super Bowl as a player, but now a Super Bowl as a coach.
Wow. Just saying, someone who graduated from DC public schools, come from Ward 7, come from the same background we come from,
right.
And how he used the game of football to guide him through life. And it just took him to places that he probably never could imagine. So that just gives a young brother like me motivation and be like, never give up, just keep grinding, keep going. So it's like Andy from my city, black man. It's just like, I'm proud of you, but it actually inspired me and motivated me to really try to, go to the top with whatever I'm trying to do.
Nah, big talk, and that's how I felt about it. And me, the one thing I always want to do, I want you all to know about the history that come out of this city, especially DCIAA. Shout out T-Rose, shout out HD Woodson. So I always want you guys to know about the history that comes out of this league and how many of us are doing so many great things. So when they won the NFC championship, and they advanced to the Super Bowl, I was like, dang.
Yeah, I seen you started early.
Yeah,
you started bringing attention to him early.
Yep. Cause Byron a real good dude.
Yeah.
He a real down to earth cat. And I've heard, Coach Frank Oliver say nothing but great things about him. Bob Hayden, Coach Fuller, all them. Anybody who I've ever talked to who met Byron, they say Byron, man, stand-up guy. So not only did I want people to know, about the history that he was getting ready to step into, but also I just wanted to, shout him out because he's a good dude.
Yeah.
And he one of our own, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we need to, as a city, we need to, support our own when we're doing big things. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough people trying to talk bad and talk down on the city and talk down on, everybody that's here and those who have made it out. So I, just wanted to shout my man out.
That's what we do. Real recognize real, man.
Big talk. So like we said, this is just the first segment of the premiere episode of the highlights. Zoe, tell them what they're gonna hit in the next segment, my man.
In the next segment, we're gonna speak about how COVID affected student athletes in Washington, D.C. And you also gonna get an exclusive one-on-one interview with a student athlete himself.
So make sure y'all keep it locked right here to the highlights. Whether you're watching on TSDN or the Houzmazoo Network, make sure you stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back, y'all. This is the highlights. I'm Chris Dunlap, and I'm here with my man Houzmazoo.
What it do?
Now, due to the COVID-19 pandemics, as you all know, high school sports here in the district have been canceled. Now, should the kids be playing? Is it still not safe? Or maybe is it something else going on? So, high school kids not playing right now, man.
Got you.
We know that, especially for our seniors, senior year, that tape, being on the court or being on the field, that's important. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah. Let me say, I want to say one thing before I answer that question.
Sure.
To all the seniors this year and last year, if no one haven't told you all this yet, but from me, my man Chris,
facts,
man, we apologize, man, because I feel for y'all.
Yeah,
because like
real.
Even if y'all not athletes, some of y'all ain't get a chance to walk across that stage.
Yeah.
Some of y'all ain't go to prom, and this is some things that some of you all, dreamed your whole life for, because college, everyone is not gonna go to college.
Right.
And everybody don't go to college, but some people, got that goal. I'm gonna walk across that stage, make my family proud. Right. And for the ones who ain't really get to experience that, like real experience, yeah. I apologize, man. That's what I can say to y'all.
Like we feel y'all pain. Yeah. I couldn't imagine, not being able to, my parents not being able to see me walk across that stage.
Prom, like some girls dream of prom.
Right.
But we apologize.
As you were saying, my man.
Got you. So yeah. COVID, how it affects student athletes, especially here in the district. Yeah. I'm gonna use an example with me. Like, y'all know, like us public school kids, if we don't have like a resource or a connect, it can be hard for us to even play AAU basketball. Right. For example, I played AAU basketball in high school, but that's because I had like a good resource and connect that put me on the circuit. Yeah. Where I saw teams like DC Assault, DC Blue Devils. But once I lost connection with my resource, I never played AAU basketball again.
Man, that's crazy.
So I'm saying that to say, like, now,
like with the pandemic,
that it's like, if you're not like an elite athlete or like the best player on your team, it's hard for you to find teams to play for, or it's just no teams to play for no more. So it's sad, bro. It's tricky, it's difficult.
Right. And it's something that's like, we ain't never seen nothing like this.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard to even say like what's the right or the wrong answer. But some people across the city, have even said that, because, you got like some, like, this is no disrespect to like any private schools, student athletes, anything like that. But, they mentioned like how some of the private school student athletes been able to play, but public charter school kids, they still, sitting at the house.
Got you.
Some people, think it's a it's a diversity issue, that our kids, in the city, public school being left behind. And I think it's a little bit of validity to that, because even like when we look back when we were in high school, as far as just coverage, since we both work in TV and stuff like that, just talking about just the coverage. Mm-hmm. What do we see? Private schools, big time coverage. Us, we kind of get the leftovers, unless you're like you said,
Turkey Bowls, championship.
There you
coverage,
go. There you go.
Big game coverage.
So, and I know you had an opportunity to talk to a young man about how COVID has, affected him and affected, his grind to, getting back on the court and just staying focused. So tell us about it.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to a great young fella, student, Gregory Tutson. He's a senior at Idea Public Charter School in Ward 7. And, we just sat down, had a one-on-one convo about, how the pandemic and COVID are affecting student athletes like himself. Stay tuned, tune in.
Check this out.
How has COVID-19 affected you as a student athlete?
First, as a student, I can't even go to school. I can't get the learning I need. So I got to do the Zoom class.
How you feel about that? How you like that?
I don't like it too much. I'd rather learn about school in person.
Got you.
So, but as an athlete, it's also difficult because I have to work out on my own. Like, I have my coach and all, but I can't even play for my school. As a senior, I need that. I want to go to college. I want to play sports in college. But, I'm a senior and COVID is messing everything up in DC.
Once you got the news that the season was canceled due to COVID, what was your first reaction / feelings?
I wasn't surprised. They kept lying to us at first. First they told us February. They told us January at first. How many times do you think we're gonna think y'all pushing it back? Y'all, we not retarded, we student athletes. So I wasn't too surprised.
From an athletic standpoint, how have you dealt with not being able to compete and practice with your team? What's been the hardest adjustment, and how are you staying in shape?
I try to keep myself in shape. I go work out wherever I can. I run, I jog around, do push-ups, I do what I need to do to keep myself in shape. It's not easy. Everything closed now. You gotta wait on people. People don't respond. It's like nobody even worried about you now. But when the season was gone, people was all in your ear. Now you don't hear nobody for real no more.
Do you think kids and students who come from more privileged backgrounds are given more opportunities and have access and resources to different things during the COVID, such as athletics? Because some private schools are playing right now. So, like, how do you feel about, that?
For sure. I think that they do get more athletic-wise, things more than people really came from the ground. More than people really came from the struggle and really want to play sports. People who build their whole life up behind it. I grew up with people like that. People who really build their whole life behind sports. Without sports, they don't know where they'd be. I don't even know where I'd be. So yeah, I feel like people with more privileged backgrounds, of course they're gonna have it more than we do. Private schools. I mean, that's how life is though.
I know you're using sports as a tool to guide you throughout life, but what are some other goals and aspirations that you have?
As a man, I really just want to be successful. Sports is like something I like to do. It's really something I like to do. I'm a physical person. I like to do physical activities. You don't want to be lost out here. That's the worst way to be, lost out here. You can't. You gotta be on something, getting money, something like that.
Do you feel lost out here?
No, I don't. I keep a job. I know I'm doing well in school. So I'm still young. I got a little bit more time before, real life hit me.
So, man, for what I get from that interview you did, man, with Tutson, most of our kids, man, they just want to be successful, and sports is a great avenue for that. So what are some things that you got out of that interview just from talking to him?
He got his head on his shoulders, sure. Mind on track. He basically was using the game of basketball, just trying to guide him through life. But now that the game of basketball has been taken away from him, he not lost, but he just trying to figure things out now. He trying to figure things out now. And Greg, you're going to be successful.
Oh yeah.
Continue to try to find your niche, and you're going to be successful.
Right. And you talked about the game being taken away. Over the last month and a half or so, especially as we clicked over into 2021, a lot of new information about COVID and how, it's transferred during sports activities and stuff like that has been revealed. And I got a chance to talk with NBC Sports Washington reporter Chad Ricardo, and we talked a little bit about that. Y'all take a look.
Stay tuned.
I want to go back to something that you posted back in early February. Now, you brought attention in a tweet. You brought attention to some new information that the NFHS discovered about COVID and its connection to participation in sports. Can you talk about those findings?
Sure. You know what, Chris? Here's what I want to make clear for any and everybody that out there that's watching right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, just like you, I'm a journalist, right? So research is our friend.
Best friend.
I do have an opinion, and I have not always shared my opinion because my research was more important than my opinion. But since just me and you talking right now, I'll tell you my opinion. At the beginning of all this, back in March, and it would extend to April, we'll even look to, when the fall sports were supposed to begin back in June, July, August or so.
Right.
I was in favor of sports being postponed. I was in favor of school being postponed. I felt as though there were just too many questions out there. I felt as though, you know, the potential for deep community spread, especially in the district where you have so many multi-generational homes, because again, Chris, you and I, if we get COVID, there is a chance that we get a severe case and we're ill, but the chances are that we'll be sick for 4, 5, 6, 7 days and then we'll get better. But if our mothers or our parents or our aunties get it, then they could die, and we don't want that, you know. In DC, there's a lot of multi-generational homes, older grandparents and such playing a role in the lives, so we don't want that. But the interesting thing about the NFHS, which is the question that you asked me, is that more recently they submitted new data-driven, scientific-driven evidence that they have come to the conclusion that playing outdoor sports specifically, basketball, we can have that conversation, but playing outdoor sports specifically, that the risk of transmission between student athletes is far lower than what it was that they initially believed for it to be. And in fact, it's far less than the idea of face-to-face interaction indoors, i.e. in the classroom, which is, you know, just the really, you know, that's the thing about DC right now. Like they're back in the classroom, but they're not playing outdoor sports. And that's really, look, I am certain that they have their own data that they're looking into, but that's very challenging to me. So outdoor sports, the risk of transmission from student athlete to student athlete is far lower outdoors than it is in one-on-one conversations. That went on to say that most transmission occurs during conversation and socializing as well, not in the playing of sports. And then the final major portion to that is that athletics were previously broken down in terms of high risk, moderate risk, and low risk. They took that out and said that you should not look at a single sport, i.e. football, which people think, oh, in football, they tackle each other. So since they tackle each other so much, you got to be spreading COVID every time. But COVID is not the cooties. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think
Good point. Real good point.
Because at first, and it is deadly, and I don't mean to, for anybody watching, it is not my intent to minimalize this virus, because we're about to go to 500,000 lives lost at this virus in our nation. So it's not my attempt to minimalize it, but it is important that we understand it. Because if we understand it, we can act accordingly to it. It's not cooties. So just because you touch someone, you make contact with them, does not mean that you're going to get it.
Exactly.
Again, the spread is far more likely. That's why the spread goes up during holiday seasons, right? Why? Because people go to each other's houses and they eat dinner together and they talk and they're around each other for hours at a time. I had an opportunity to interview 2 doctors on this. That's Dr. Vin Gupta, who's at MSNBC, and then Dr. Sunil Budrani, who is the chief of staff at Inova. And each of them spoke to the fact that the virus is more likely transmitted. Anything's possible, but it's most likely transmitted when 2 individuals are sitting face to face, having a conversation without masks for up to as many as 15 minutes. And why 15 minutes? I mean, that's just a number, but it's because it's the consistent back and forth. It's the sputum in your mouth that goes into the other person's, nose and system from consistent conversation back and forth. That's for the most part how this virus is transmitted, bro. And people just need to understand this. So football, i.e. was taken away from being more, it was high risk. It was taken away from being more high risk than other sports because community spread and how active the virus is around everyone is far more of an indicator of its efficacy than anything else.
All right, y'all, keep it locked right here to the highlights, because after this break, my man Houzmazoo is going to give us an exclusive Houzmazoo network look at what he experienced right here at the Capitol during the terrorist attacks and the invasion into the Capitol and all that crazy stuff, actually. So make sure y'all keep it locked. Zo, tell them keep it locked, man, because they don't want to miss it.
Man, you do not want to miss this right here. This is exclusive footage NBC, CNN, they don't even got this type of footage right here, man. Y'all know
Only
it's
the
the network. Y'all know.
So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked. You're watching the highlights on the Houzmazoo Network and on TSDN.
Welcome back, y'all. Hope y'all enjoying the show. I'm Alfonso, Houzmazoo Network.
It's Chris Dunlap, that sports dude. Zoe, so we told the people in the last segment, told the viewers in the last segment, at the end of the last segment, that this is a segment that they wanted to watch because we're gonna get an in-depth look at what you experienced right here at the Capitol last month during those crazy attacks. So first thing I want to know, and I even asked you this before, how did it, forget like just the footage that you captured, like, man, how did it feel like being in the heart of all of that craziness?
I know, man. It felt surreal. It felt surreal, and like, it just felt surreal. Like, I ain't really know what was going on. Right. I'm just down here capturing it, you know, but I know a lot of people from all over the United States. People was calling me that I went to school with from Ohio, my aunt down in Georgia, my people was out in Pennsylvania. Everyone was calling me like, Zoe, you see what's going on in DC right now? And I'm like, I'm down here right now.
I'm here.
They like, what? So they was like really worried and concerned. Like, you could hear in their voice like, oh my God, get from down there. Like, they was really concerned.
Understandable.
And I'm like, and then once I just started saying, I'm like, oh, this is really real.
Yeah.
This history right now. So, but I had to see it to believe it, because I can't believe people actually broke into the Capitol, got on Capitol grounds, and did what they did. Was in the office, you know. But I literally had to see it with my own two eyes to believe it. You know, walking down the street, you know, hearing people say, drain the swamp, people calling me Black Lives Matter, Antifa. That's when I'm like, is this a movie? I'm Antifa.
Easy.
What's Antifa? I don't know. But it's like, it was just different, but it was a vibe, but it was like a crazy vibe.
One of those you had to be
there to like really feel it. You had to be there to really feel it. And then like, when I first got down here, I ain't know I was a part of history. But then as time was going and I was still down here seeing stuff, and like people called me, I'm like, oh yeah, this history.
Oh yeah.
This history. This something different right here. This something different.
So, man, y'all check this out. Courtesy of the Houzmazoo Network, an exclusive look at what my man Zoe experienced down here at the Capitol. Take a look.
Senate recess.
Crazy. Zoe, man, like you got some, you weren't lying. It was wild.
Man.
It was wild, man.
Man, some of those metaphors that I heard, I'd never heard some of those metaphors before. So it's just like, it's different, y'all. They got their own metaphors. And them people's really ready for war. You know, they really ready for war.
Easy, bro.
And just some of the, I learned some stuff down there too, though.
Like, what you learned? What's some stuff
I learned about the Proud Boys, you know, they, I'm not saying that they not a white supremacist group. However, I found out that the Proud Boys are at Trump rallies to protect the pro-Trump supporters.
So they like the pro-Trump supporter security.
Basically.
Are you serious?
Basically, yeah. That's what
Oh
I
my
found
gosh,
out. So yeah,
that's
so
wild.
like if pro-Trump supporters, like the non-violent ones, are protesting or doing their thing, and like you know, other type of groups come over and try to, you know, step on toes.
Right.
That's what the Proud Boys are there for.
Seriously.
So they say.
Right.
But, you know, I learned that though, and I looked at it, I'm like, all right, that makes somewhat sense,
Right.
you know, and I guess BLM are the, you know, the peaceful protesters that protesting about whatever, you know, I guess they the peaceful for, you know, the anti people that's coming trying to, you know,
Right.
so I guess, but yeah, some of those metaphors I heard, never heard before. It's different, man. They got their own metaphor. Just look at the footage again and hear some of those metaphors that they was using, man.
Y'all check out the rest of this right here, man. Look at this.
Hey, soft pretzels, bottled water. Hey, soft pretzels, bottled water.
6 p.m. curfew. Let's show her that that ain't gonna fly, people. She tried to close down the city, and look how many people showed up. 6 p.m. curfew, my ass.
We all stay out.
There we go.
Protesters have invaded. Who are you working for, sir? Who are you working for?
Don't worry about it. I work for
No,
me.
I'm asking. Don't record.
Man, shut up.
Don't record.
I work for
No,
me.
Don't record.
What you talking about, boy?
Don't
Yeah,
record.
shut
I'm
the
not
fuck
doing
up and keep
anything else.
walking.
Don't record.
What you talking about?
You don't have my
I don't give a fuck. You don't have my permission to be in my city.
Don't record.
City?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called the United States
Yeah.
of America. The
Yeah.
United States of America. The land of the free and the home of the brave.
Back up,
Welcome
back
to
up. Don't walk up
Washington,
on me like
D.C. We love you.
You proud girl? You a proud girl, ain't you? Yes, we do. We got spirit. How about you?
Oh,
You a fucking fruit cup.
You're so cute.
The proud boy fruit
God
cup.
bless you.
Tight ass pants, man. You can't even walk straight.
You'll probably see a different story on fake news media. Millions of Americans in Washington, D.C., you are all part of American history. Take a picture of the Unity Bridge. Get a photo with Lady MAGA. Who cares about MAGA? She's a whiner. She don't like America. We'll help her pack her bags. Thank you for coming out to support President Trump. Walking the streets supporting President Trump. Each and every one of you.
What's up, bro?
Come over and get your warm.
That's a first off, great look, man. Shout out to you, bro. That's some amazing footage, some in-depth footage, and I'm just glad that you were safe. You know what I'm saying? That was the main thing.
For sure.
That I was concerned about your safety.
We walk with faith, man. We walk with faith, man.
Big talk.
We
Big
walk
talk.
with faith.
So, man, that's the end. That does it right here for the first episode of the highlights. So, man, this is just the first of many. Am I right?
First of many, man. Stay tuned, man. Hope y'all like what y'all saw too, man.
For sure. We work hard at this stuff, man, just to bring y'all the true DC. So make sure you guys subscribe, whether you're watching on the Houzmazoo network or on TSDN. Make sure y'all smash the subscribe button and also press the like button and share it on your social media platforms so we can get more people tuned in. And also make sure you guys follow us, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. Let them know where they can follow you, cuz.
Follow me on Instagram at Houzmazoo Network, HOUZMAZOO. We all know how to spell network. At Twitter, at Houzmazoo, HOUZMAZZOO. HouzmazooNetwork.com.
Awesome. And yeah, make sure y'all check out the website. It's lit. And then y'all can also follow me on Twitter at _thatsportsdude and on Instagram at _thatsportsdude_. And then again, like I just said, make sure you guys subscribe right here to TSDN and also right here to Houzmazoo Network, regardless of where you watch it from. So man, like I said, first of many. Make sure y'all stay tuned because you don't want to miss any of the action. We'll have some real good interviews, some real good footage like you guys just seen, courtesy of my man. It's gonna be lit, ain't that right, cuz?
For sure, for sure.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Stay blessed and stay lit.